Hi there, my name is Allison. I'm so happy to have you here. I see that you have made the decision to go ahead with a 2025 Forester Convenience, and I'm happy to walk you through over the next few minutes some of the exterior as well as interior features of your new Forester so that you're going to have a quick and easy reference for the days going ahead while you're enjoying driving the new vehicle. And I'm going to take advantage of this beautiful crystal white pearl specimen that is hanging out in our showroom today. Starting right from the front, you can see we have the 8.7 inches of ground clearance that is in all of our SUVs. And for our Canadian model, of course, we have our Blockator zip tied right out front. You do have standard LED steering responsive headlights. With the convenience package, you won't have the headlights, but you do have the eyesight. That's the forward-facing cameras. If you can see, there is the two cameras, one's on either side of the rear view mirror. That's going to be your pre-collision braking as well as your adaptive cruise control. There is also another single camera central that is just below your rear view mirror, and that's going to be your mono camera. It's great for being able to help distinguish cars, pedestrians, cyclists, and it's used for your high beam assist. Wheels and tires are always a consideration, and in the convenience as well as the touring package, you're going to have this 17-inch all-season tire and this 17-inch aluminum alloy wheel. Nice and light and also aesthetically so pleasing. Moving to your wing mirrors, you do not have the integrated turn signals and you have the black gloss mirror caps. Also, the convenience package will be a key instead of a proximity key, which means you've got the electronics on the key and you also do have your physical key door slot on your driver's door. Well, we're certainly going to be a Forester when we have such wide opening back doors. Look at that space. Do you have anyone that would enjoy this ease of access, especially with how the back seat is kind of inset to allow your legs to swing in with no restrictions? Also, the height for a Forester makes it very easy for getting in or out. You're not climbing up and you're not having to throw yourself down into a vehicle for getting out. It's just the easiest thing. And the convenience package, it is in the gray cloth seating, but you can also see that on your back seats, you do actually have the USB-A and USB-C in the back seat position. You do not have the center fold down armrest with the cup holders. Often our clients who choose a convenience, they don't want extra bells and whistles. They want it to be clean, sensible, and have less things that can ever be an issue down the road. So with your proximity key, it does have a tailgate button. That's simply going to be for unlocking the tailgate. As in the Forester Convenience, it is a manual tailgate. Directly below the logo, you'll feel a long rubbery button, and then it is quite nice and easy to open, but it is not power. So while we look into the back of the vehicle, you do not have the cargo area tray or cargo cover until you're at touring or higher. Those are accessories otherwise. The vehicle does come standard with the carpet floor mats, and in the Manitoba package, you would then have the rubber floor mats, the rear seat back protector, and the back bumper step pad. Those haven't been applied on this vehicle. You do, of course, still get a physical owner's manual, and you will have the shopping bag hooks on either side right here, and there's two on this side, as well as another 12-volt adapter. 60/40 folding back seats, so you can just pull the little toggle, flip them down, gives you lots of space. Also, with the height of the trunk opening and nice, easy access for the trunk. As I said, it is just a manual tailgate release. Also, feature to remember, it was Forester that brought out having that back window washer, rinsing off your backup camera for all those slushy and dirty days. When you're picking up your new Forester, you are, of course, going to have a full tank of gas, but at some point, you're going to need to fill your gas tank. Your fuel door is on the passenger side, and as long as your doors are unlocked, it's just a push pop to open, and your vehicle is rated for 87, so the regular unleaded. When your doors are locked for the vehicle, then your fuel door is also going to be locked. We can take a look at the interior styling of the Forester Convenience. The smaller two 7-inch display screens. Steering wheel and display is the same. This is going to have your manual adjust seats. We'll go over those. And then you have your door locks and window controls. And of course, it will be a key start instead of a push button. So one button push on the unlock will unlock your driver's door. Double click will unlock all doors. And there's your lock button as well. The left side of the wheel is an easy place to start. This is going to be mostly your stereo controls and your hands-free. So your volume control is at the bottom here. This will be to answer a phone call, hang up a phone call, mute the radio, or use your voice controls for your cell phone. This is going to scroll through. When I add power, up here above the digital speedometer, there's going to be another menu bar. This toggle will take us through the different menu options. This will skip forward preset radio stations or tracks if you're streaming music. Source takes you through FM, AM, Sirius, XM for where your music's playing. If we look in behind the wheel on the left side, this is going to give you all your headlight controls. So you're set on the auto setting. Well, that means that you'll be on your daytime running lights during the day, automatically turn on your headlights, automatically power everything down. You can manually turn to your daytime running lights or your headlights, of course. And in the convenience package, it does not have fog lights, so you don't have that extra adjustment here. And your brights are a push away and it'll pop back. For your high beam assist, that is part of the Forester. All Foresters have the high beam assist when in the auto headlight setting. The right side of your steering wheel, this is all about your adaptive cruise control and your drive modes. So intelligent mode is your default. That is like your eco mode. When you turn your car on, it's automatically going to be in intelligent mode. If you decide to go over into sport mode, it's going to feel like it's accelerating a bit more quickly. It's a little more peppy, I suppose. When you turn your car off, the default will take you back into intelligent mode. And of course, sport mode will no doubt impact your fuel efficiency. For your adaptive cruise control, you're going to hit this top right button to enable your cruise. Toggle down when you get to the speed that you want, so that's your set, or bump up for resume. That's fairly standard. What's different is having this adaptive part of the cruise. So you can increase what you want to have as a safe following distance between you and the vehicle in front of you. So you can increase or decrease. It'll show on a graphic up in the screen there. You'll have the car and lines in front of it. If you think of each line as roughly equivalent to a car length, you can increase or decrease up to 4 lines and down to 1 line. So that will be when is the car going to be overriding your preset cruise speed and slowing you down to keep a following distance so you're not getting too close to the car in front of you. There is also lane centering. So with the EyeSight cameras, you've got your pre-collision braking, you have your lane departure warning. Lane centering is one that is more active and you choose to opt into that. So when you are using your cruise and you're on a road that can read both sides of the lane markings, if you choose to turn on lane centering, it's more actively going to make steering adjustments to keep you from drifting either side out of the lane. The lane departure, if you drift out of the lane up to 65 kilometers an hour, it's just going to pop up a warning that lane departure. Above 60, it'll give you a very polite nudge back into your lane and then let you know about the lane departure. So you choose to turn on lane centering and it will actively make steering adjustments. In behind the wheel on the right side, this is going to be your wipers and washers. So pulled down is intermittent, low, and high. This dial is going to be your speed of intermittent. And at the outside here, this is going to be your back window washer and wiper. So you can have wash that way, or down at the bottom. And you can have intermittent and on for your other settings. Looking in behind the wheel, you have your trip reset. So trip A, trip B, press and hold for reset. And I have mentioned that this is going to be key start as opposed to a push button start. Buttons to the left of the steering wheel, it is actually only one. You've got your dial here. That's going to be the brightness for your gauges. So it's set at your brightest setting, and it will, you can dim it down if you would like, and that will be your gauge cluster and your screen. Going below that, then you've got a fuse panel here, and if you're wanting to pop your hood, it is going to be all the way along right by the door, just tucked back a little farther than you might expect. And moving to the driver's door, this is going to be your mirror adjustments. So you turn to the left or right, and then it's just going to be a push in whichever direction you're wanting to work with. Lock and unlock. You've got the driver's side auto window, passenger, back seats, and then this is your child window lock. So when that's pushed in, then only the driver can adjust the windows, and when it's up flush, then that is so that everybody can be opening or closing their windows. The other thing that I should mention is your tilt and telescoping wheel. So it is tucked under the left side of the wheel. Then that'll allow you to go up, down, in, out, wherever you want. And it's quite tight to close it back up, but then it's never going to be falling open. Here's our gauge cluster for the Forester convenience. What I had talked about, the toggle, so on the left side of the wheel, this guy right here, and mentioned that it'll be able to adjust the menus above the speedometer. This would be the amount of time and fuel saved with the auto start stop, time and distance of last drive, trip meter, second trip meter, and then time and outside temperature or radio station. You also have your odometer. And right now this is at a 9.6 kilometers. There is your drive mode, and this is going to be your auto start stop to show it's not on because the engine isn't running. Also your fuel gauge here and showing that your fuel door will be on the passenger side. We've now moved over to the little bit more analog infotainment screen in comparison to the upper models. So for convenience, this is the only package that does have the two 7-inch screens and the buttons in between. Above this level, it will be the 11.6-inch vertically mounted screen and all touchscreen. The top left, this sticker is going to be covering your 4-way flashers or hazards lights. You do have a volume dial and a tuning dial, so you can still set your radio stations with a tuning dial. Volume you can adjust up and down, and push volume to mute or unmute your radio stations. You've got 18 different presets here, so you can dial to whatever radio station you want, and then it is press and hold until you hear a beep to be setting your radio stations. You would then be able to go, here is your home button. That'll take you back to your main screen. So if you're going to be pairing your phone, on your phone, you will open up your settings, go into your Bluetooth. This is going to walk you through, so making sure you go to Bluetooth, enable it, and you watch and search. The name Forester is going to come along at the bottom of your screen with unpaired devices. It'll then pop up a PIN number that you will accept, and you'll just go ahead and answer all of the prompts. For this vehicle, you do have the wireless Bluetooth connection. If you were going to be using Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, it is a wired connection. And at the bottom of your screen, that is your USB-A port. And I'm always going to suggest using good quality phone cord, because a lesser phone cord can be good enough for charging, but it won't be able to run the Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, and it can be a cause of frustration. There is the new feature of display off. That means that your music can keep on playing, but instead of being concerned about the brightness of the screen, this will turn the screens and have them go to sleep. So then you don't have any distractions if you're doing night driving, and if you're needing to interact with something, you get your climate controls and your safety features pop up, and then the screen can go back to sleep. When you do want the screen to come back up, you can either, it's nice and warm in here. When you do want the screen to come back up, you're going to just push and hold the volume dial for a count of 3, and then your screens will be all back up and going. But it's a great edit as there is more illuminated objects in the redesigned Forester than in previous generations. Settings is going to be a lot of your displays, so you can adjust your clock. You can also set some reminders, change your shortcut screens, whatever it is you're wanting to do here. Sound will be, everything is set at medium right now, but you can adjust the volumes for kind of all the notifications in the vehicle. Phone is phone setup. You can also change your car's connection, and that is all we've got is radio. Radio, you have shortcuts, or you start off with your FM, AM, and then a 3-month trial of Sirius XM. With the Forester Convenience, you also have the hard buttons that match up with your touch screen. So it does give you a little bit more flexibility in being able to get to the screens that you want without having to take your eyes off the road. If we go down to the bottom screen, this is all about your driving features. The top left, that is your X mode. So that's your 4-wheel drive low system. So you're, of course, in all-wheel drive all the time, but if you were to turn on X mode, then you can go into the dirt and snow setting. So if you have a whole bunch of snow and it's icy underneath, you think you might get stuck, you turn on X mode. It's going to move power to whichever wheel has traction. That'll work up to 40 kilometers an hour. So if you get out of your back lane, get onto the main road, then you can, it will automatically kick you back into your regular all-wheel drive. If you happen to hit the button you're driving highway speed, it's going to ignore you. It's really hard to hurt the vehicle, but it will allow you to go into this X mode within the right parameters. I will always suggest that you turn on your X mode from a stop, as it is a low speed function. Your next button over is vehicle control. So this is your cruise control, acceleration. Auto vehicle hold is like a hill brake. So that means if you got to a stoplight and you didn't want the car to roll backwards, you could turn AVH on. It will keep you in place until you put your foot on the accelerator to release. And then it also has the ability for you to turn off the steering responsive headlights. I don't know why you'd want to, but it's an option for you there. Driving assistance takes you into your pre-collision braking, so that is the EyeSight. So pre-collision braking and your options there, whether it's on and what distance you're being notified from needing to be doing that emergency braking. It also then has your lane departure, prevention and warning, as far as all the functions, or if you were, say, to turn it off, you would be doing it right there. Your more settings, that's going to be your volume of your settings. And also, if you were, say, driving down to the States, then you could switch it over to miles and miles per gallon. There's also a quick button here for turning off the auto start stop, which is that fuel saver if you're not drawing too much power from the battery that a lot of brands are adding in. But people have feelings about it, and if you were wanting to override it, it is a default that'll pop back up when you restart the car, but it's a way for you to be able to turn that off. Otherwise, you will have the auto start stop and a button right here that when the engine is running, it'll be on here with a green light that you could just override it right there. If we move down to the bottom, this is all your climate control. So your heated seats, high, medium, low, off. Passenger side's over here. Your fan is all the way down at the bottom. Air conditioning. And this box, if you pop it up, that's going to show where the air is blowing. So face, face and feet, even, just your feet, defrost and feet. And this will also go away if you don't touch the screen for 10 seconds. You have the ability with these tactile buttons on the outside on either side of the screen to adjust the temperature up or down. It's 0.5 degree up or down for each button push. And on the left side, this is front defrost. And on the passenger side, this is the back defrost and the heated mirrors. So again, there is a lot more items that you can reach over and just adjust without having to take your eyes off the road. As I mentioned, going below the screen, you've got your USB-A and you've got an auxiliary plug, and then there's a little cubby hole right below the screen. Otherwise, moving down, we've got your electronic parking brake. Where you pull it up to set, you do have to have your foot on the brake when you push down to release. And then you've got a 12-volt plug there, and you've got your little center storage cubby as well. When we look up between the front occupants' heads, it is much cleaner, as the convenience package does not have either the My Subaru app with the Starlink technology or a sunroof, so it's just going to have the notifications of passenger airbag. It's going to have your adjustment for map lights, and then you've got your sunglasses storage spot here. Well, let's discuss your 6-way power adjust seat. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, I think it's 6. All right, so the back adjustment is tucked right here in the corner. It's a little bit tricky, but it's aesthetically very pleasing. The height adjustment, you're going to be using this bar. If you're wanting to move the seat down, it's kind of a pump in a downwards motion. And if you're wanting to raise the height of it, then it is a upwards pumping. Takes a while, but there's a lot of range of motion in a Forester. And then, of course, the other option will be the bar right down in between your knees for sliding you back or forwards. You're going to find out how much space there is in the cabin of the Forester. Lots of vertical room, matching up with all of that window space. Thank you so much for taking the time to go through some of the features and controls of your new 2025 Forester Convenience. Again, my name is Allison. I work here at Jim Pattison Subaru South in sunny Winnipeg, Manitoba, and I truly want to be your go-to Subaru gal. I've got my phone number right here for you if you do have any questions or there's some further information, maybe more details on some of the features that you would like me to go into. I'm happy to get you that information. But going ahead, I wish you nothing but a whole lot of happy miles with your Subaru driving, and welcome to the family.